everybody. Well, Randy puts the book down. He ain't got pictures in there. We know you ain't reading.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to Still Real to Us. How we chatting along with Joseph the Rabbit Beaver and QB1 Randy Cunningham pretending to be knowledgeable, being able to read. We know that ain't possible.
Reading the Hunger Games, the Ballad of the Singbirds and Snakes.
The only thing Randy Cunningham has ever read in his life is a menu.
I've read a few of those.
At a buffet.
At a buffet, yes.
A buffet.
I'll take everything.
Yeah, with a side of everything as well.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. Sorry about coming on a little bit late. We had a guest scheduled to appear. He's having some technical difficulties, and hopefully he can get those worked out and join us here. But in the meantime, we are going to talk a little bit about today's modern day wrestling real quick, and hopefully if he gets things worked out, we'll be live with him. If not, then we'll do a little show real quick. So modern day wrestling, before we went live, we was talking about some of the things that we'd like to see in today's wrestling. And the one thing that everybody kind of brought up was Cody Rhodes. What would you like to see Cody Rhodes do now? Because he's done a little bit of everything. And guys, just this person's opinion, he is great at everything he does. Face, heel, regardless of what it is, he's always good. So we had mixed opinions before we went live. Joseph, start with you. What would you like to see Cody Rhodes do in the WWE at the moment?
Well, I think he needs to turn heel. I think that's really the only thing that is left again. And it's hard for me to say that because I believe the personal best that he has ever been, you got to think about dashing Cody Rhodes. You got to think about whenever he was with Legacy, whenever they turned on him and he had to turn back, the Bullet Club version of him. You got to think, just going forward, AEW's version of him, even after he tried to win the title and hold that title up and hold the prestige up for him. I think that the problem is they've got to find a bigger star than him in order for him to do it. He has to go against somebody like The Rock, or he'll have to go against a Joe Hendry, somebody who has the crowd presence. LA Knight, he's going to have to go against somebody like that's got the crowd presence that really is pushing him to that point for him to be that heel. The other thing is we've seen it a million times. We've seen the McIntyre Rhodes a million times. And I know it makes money, but you're going to start losing your crowd if you keep putting the same match right before you every other pay-per-view. You've got to change it. You got to keep changing it and keep something fresh and keep the ideas fresh for Cody to even excel and be that person. And I think that's where I'm coming from on this. QB, your thoughts?
Oh, before you go any further, they are going to lose their crowd because they're pricing everybody out of the seats. Anyway, well, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Go ahead, QB.
Hey, I'm not the biggest Hulk Hogan fan. Never have been the biggest Hulk Hogan fan. But before he died, they talked about how the WWE has became the same guy can do the same role because now it's about the fireworks, it's about the effects, it's about the entrance, it's about the music. I loved Cody Rhodes, the personality at the Battle of LA. He was great for PWG. Ring of Honor, Cody Rhodes. The Cody Rhodes that were paranoid, that spent years trying to discredit Kenny Omega at New Japan and Ring of Honor. I think that Cody Rhodes, if you gave it time, could really put over some younger guys because Cody's getting a little there. He's kind of done his run. You got to do something with him. I want to see Cody Rhodes, the bad guy, again, and not. I don't want to hear that song 50 more times. I love the song, but that entrance, there's only so many times I'm going to pop for it.
Joseph seemed like Randy struck a nerve there when he mentioned that.
I don't think he's too old. I think that he's right in the twilight of his career, and he's right where he needs to be currently. I mean, if we're talking about too old to be in the business, Cody is literally like 4 years older than me. And I'm an old man, but I'm not an old man, Randy. And I know that he's still got some good time left in him. You want to talk about old? Punk is old. Punk is in the going down side of his career. And I hate to say that because I'm a huge CM Punk fan. But if you're comparing apples to oranges here, you got to think Randy Orton's older too. Randy Orton's 4 years older than Cody.
Cody had his run as the top of the card guy. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's not physical age. It's kind of where he's been, what he's done. In the last 4 years, I've got all the Cody Rhodes good guy I needed the last a lifetime.
Okay, well, where do you put him on the card, Randy? If you take him out of the picture that he's in now, where are you going to put him? You going to put him at the IC level again, or are you going to put him?
I'm going to put him at making stars what Randy Orton has done for the last 10 years. And I think Cody Rhodes can work with somebody and make them a star. Joe Henry. We talk about loving LA Knight. I love LA Knight's 40 years old, but he's never had that run that Cody Rhodes could make LA Knight elite. And I don't, for me, there's a run. And after you have your run, your job is to help make the other guy have the run. And they've got to be somebody at the top of the card. It's become stale for the WWE in my mind.
It's because they're pushing the legend killer too much right now. They're pushing Gunther. He's retiring everybody. He's getting rid of everybody. And so the next one on the list you got to think is going to be Randy Orton if they allow it to go through. And I hate to say that. I hate to be that guy, but you got to let Randy decide how he wants to leave. You got to let him decide when he wants to leave. And then the only other person that's on that card that's old enough to be your grandfather's Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, where are we going with this? Who do you have him put over? If you're going to have it, are you going to put him over Austin Theory? Are you going to put over Grayson Waller?
I think there's two guys that's ready in the WWE. One being LA Knight. I think he's been there for a long time, been ready for a long time. And the other one I think is currently not in the WWE. But what if you brought MJF in to run with Cody Rhodes? Or if you don't use MJF, what if you took Austin Theory and let Austin Theory run with him? I just think there's an opportunity to freshen Cody up and also create a new star.
I'm gonna ruffle some feathers here. I like the idea of bringing MJF to the WWE, but here's the problem: is MJF is such a mega star where he's at right now. If he switches companies, it'll be like Bret Hart going to WCW. They won't know what to do with him, and the fans will lose their interest in him, even though he's going to be a top guy. They're going to put him in the same position that LA Knight's in right now, and I hate to say that because I believe LA Knight can be the guy. He can be the top man. He can have that run. He could have that push like you're talking about. But you got too many people in that fire if you bring MJF in, and he'll never get that opportunity to shine the way he does. I honestly believe that it's going to take him going back to Eli Drake or going to another company to become that guy, to show WWE how big of a star and how big of crap they messed up by letting him go. That's what I really think is going to have to take place with him.
There is no better example in the world of wrestling, and I think I'd ask both of your opinion on this, than a promotion making a star, than what the NWA is capable of doing and is doing with talent. You look at Silas Mason, who is a local guy, who's been he has people talk about Silas Mason in the terms of Harley Race and Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes now. That's making a star out of Silas. I just don't. The WWE frustrates me because I think they're a star making machine that's now depending on effects to get their guys over with. There is no Undertaker. Go ahead,
Howie.
Before we go any further, this episode is brought to you by Doc Gallo's Beard Products. Joseph, you will pull the stuff up for us real quick, and we'll advertise it real quick.
Yes, sir. Give me just a second.
Right there. Hey, I just started yesterday. Y'all see any difference yet?
Well,
it was going to come.
Your lower part looks better. The upper part, it ain't helped none of it yet. But anyway, Doc Gallo's beer product Joseph's fixing to have the website up
As
for
soon
you
as
to
it
be able.
pops up, it's just being crazy with me.
Hey, one of the best guests we've ever had. Shout out. Been
But
doing this a long time. Great guest.
while Joseph's bringing that up, I want to bring something to y'all's attention. I know we're not talking about physical age, but LA Knight's probably older than most of the other guys that you're talking about, but y'all are talking about giving him a push at the moment.
LA's 40, 41 years old. He's he's never been. I'm just talking about Joe Henry is another one. You know,
Can't say his name no more. He's going to appear.
I can't. Just someone that never headlined at a WrestleMania. 4 years ago, when Cody headlined a WrestleMania, I was excited to see Cody Rhodes headline a WrestleMania because it was new and fresh. I don't know it's new and fresh anymore.
The thing about WWE, in my opinion, is they have pushed some younger talent back to keep some of their older talent the headlines, and I'm afraid it's going to bite them in the rear before it's over with because they're not going to have no young talent that's superstars like what they have now.
You've got to be making new talent. And I don't know who your favorite wrestler is. Maybe that's a subject we'd have right now. Who's your favorite WWE guy? Well, mine. I find myself always leaning towards the NXT guys because I'm always trying to catch a rising star. And right now, I'm all fired up about Obi Fema just because he's so big and so huge. You know, that's the guy. Every time he's on TV, I like to watch. It's the only. If I'm walking through the living room and I look at Raw is on and I see him, I will stop. That's the kind of guy that I don't know why, but I feel like he's a star in the making.
Yeah, my
I
God,
felt
you got an 80-inch TV and he takes up all of it.
he does. He is a humongous man. I felt the same way about Kevin Owens when he came up. I loved Kevin Owens. I felt the same way about Drew McIntyre when he first came the second time. You know, there's a shelf life to being a top guy. You know,
All natural luxury Bryant Hill beard and skincare. Go go support them. Doc Gallows and everyone there. If you haven't saw the episode, go back and watch it from last week. It was a great episode having Doc Gallows on, and as big of a star as he was such a humble and nice individual to talk to.
I believe he was the first WWE World Champion to appear on RiverCity-Media. That's that. If I was going to have somebody, I would point towards him. You know, the only thing I regret was I meant to ask him early on about teaming with Ray Gordy at Asbestos, and I was just going to ask him how he worked with Ray, but I kind of got caught up in everything else and never did.
But Doc Gallows luxury skin and beard care. You got the Q code there if you can. We'll leave it up for another couple of seconds. Scan it in. Go see all their products, and not only is it just for men, but they got women's stuff on there as well. So check it out. Valentine's Day is Saturday. It might be a little bit too late to get it before then, but if let me pull this one up real quick. Put that one back on there. There's the women's products as well. Go ahead and get her something for Saturday and then tell her that it's on the way, got hung up in the shipping process because more than likely it's going to anyway. So it probably wouldn't be a lie. So anyway, go out, check them out there at BryantHill.com, if I ain't mistaken. Is that correct? BryantHill.com?
It's shopbryanthill.com. Shopbryanthill.com altogether.
They are the sponsor of this week's It's Still Real to Us podcast. Appreciate their sponsorship, and they're going to be sponsors on here for the next several weeks, actually months. And we appreciate their time and effort. Bryant Hill, shopbryanthill.com. All right, back to our old man talk. Joseph, you heard what me and Randy was talking about. I was talking about LA Knight being maybe too old, not getting enough of the younger guys to come up. They're trying to bring up some younger guys, especially with Braun Breaker, and everybody and their brother doesn't understand. Why not just go ahead and call him a Steiner? I mean, crap, everybody knows who he is. He's a Steiner. Call him a Steiner, be done with it. But you know how WWE is.
Well, they got to get their piece of the pie. If they use the Steiner name, Steiner is already copyrighted and trademarked. So they're not going to be getting their piece of the pie on that. That's the side that nobody's really looking at. The other thing is if you use a guy like Braun Breaker, now he's been in the business a couple years, but he's still a little green. He's still a little rough around the edges. Is he a mega star? Absolutely. Is he going to be that guy one day? Absolutely, he is. The problem that I think a lot of people have with him right now is he's too young in the business. It's not a bad thing that he's young in the business, but it's that he has ideas about how the business is supposed to work and how the business is supposed to be based on his uncle and his father, who have been in the business and worked inside the business. And I think that they're still trying to push that gimmick on him. They're trying to push that Steiner gimmick on him to let him be who he's supposed to be. I think WWE is missing money with Adam Pearce and Braun Breaker. There needs to be a loser leave town match. And I hate to say it, but I'm going to. And I'm going to light up like a Christmas tree talking about it the whole time. Scrap Daddy needs to just put his big boy pants on and go out there in that beautiful robe he wears. And Adam Pearce needs to go back to Scrap Town and beat some ass. That's how it needs to be. And I hate to say that, but the truth of it is you're missing a lot of money on this because yeah, you've got Paul Heyman in the angle. Yeah, you've got everybody else in the angle. But if you want it to be fair and square, I mean, we're going to talk about it. They've already put their hands on each other. They've already built it up. You might as well make the money on it at one of the big events, WrestleMania, wherever. Make the money on it. Do it. Lose or leave town, WWE.
Hey, how many years have we been waiting for this too?
Oh, yeah, for sure. At least 3, and that's being very generous on it. And we've been waiting for Adam Pearce to come back and just be that who we know he can. And no offense to Nick Aldis, Nick is in every right his own champion, and in every right one of the best champions the NWA and TNA has had, and he's really put them back on the map. But coming into that general managing spot, I mean, I said it the other day on one of the shows that I was on. I think WWE is missing the money on this opportunity, but they're also missing money on, well, what happens if you have a loser leave town match and Adam Pearce loses? Okay, well, what happened back in the day? You ran 3 shows, right? What you're doing now, you're running NXT SmackDown, and you're running, 4 shows now because they're running the Saturday night main event, and they're running Raw. So what you do is you make one general manager for the 2 shows, just like it used to be, and then he's got to leave town. He's either got to go to another show or he's fired or whatever happens with him happens. But it puts him back inside the ring for everybody to see him. Now, we were talking about age and how age takes people to places that you don't think they're going to be, especially when they get older, like a Jericho. We didn't see Jericho lasting this long. I don't think anybody saw Jericho lasting this long. But you know what? If you bring somebody back like Nick Aldis, you bring somebody back like Scrap Daddy, and you give them the opportunity that they never got with the big company, they never got a chance to wrestle for the big company and be that person for the big company. You give them the opportunity to shine, and I think they're going to make the best of it, no matter how old they are. They're going to be the main event, even if they're not the main event, just because they're ready for it. They've waited their whole lives for it. What do you guys think?
Man, I'd give money to see Adam Pearce in the ring. I am the original Scrap Daddy fan. I've seen him in the ring holding that 10 pounds of gold over his head, defending it against local talent. He's been finished for years. You talk about Terry Funk getting that run, that last WWE run at 50-something years old. It had to be a little bit cartoonish with Chainsaw Charlie and Mick Foley and stuff. That was a lot of fun for me and guys like us who love wrestling. And then you can think about even Harley Race came in and got a year out of the King Harley Race. It was great to see him on that stage. Give me Scrap Daddy any day. That's the best booking the WWE's had in 20 years.
I agree. Howie?
Don't announce it. Just put him out in the ring, and then let Scrap Daddy just all of a sudden his music play and listen. Well,
And it's got to be the singlet too. It can't. It's the one singlet.
we got to realize that the way the fans are right now, a lot of people may not recognize the music, but once he comes out and they can bring bring it up there, then people will realize that what's fixing to happen, and I think it'll get a huge pop if they would do that.
It's a lost art in the world of professional wrestling. Is and Cornette says it, and sometimes I'm a Cornette fan, and sometimes I'm not. But I always respect his opinion. Look at Donovan Dijak and Baron Corbin in MLW.
Oh yeah.
Hottest ticket going in the third or fourth largest promotion in the country. And it's not, to me, MLW is not the third or fourth largest promotion in the country. MLW is kind of its own thing. And it is definitely one of the best storylines going right now in wrestling is this tag team of two cast-offs. Sometimes reinventing yourself is worth it.
I think the problem persists with a lot of people is they've got so used to their gimmick and they're so over in their gimmick, they're afraid that what if this doesn't work? What if it doesn't work for me? And the truth of it is you can't be afraid, because if you're over as a baby, you're going to get over as a heel, because you're going to get the boos. You're going to get people who hate you. You're going to get people who threaten you. You're going to get people who have those bricks waiting for you at your car whenever you're going to leave. You're going to get all that, but it's going to make great television, and you're going to have a heck of a story later on in life. That's how it's going to be.
And I think the other promotion is guilty of the same thing. As AEW is leaving the same guys at the top of the card too long. And I think in their case, it's a little nepotism that, we started this company together, and 5 years later, we're still at the top of the card. God bless Swerve Strickland and those guys who have been able to crack that barrier.
I don't know if it's, Tony's going to hate me for this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I don't know if it's Tony Khan's just nepotism of him wanting to be faithful to the guys who have been faithful to him and giving them the proper place that they deserve, but he's got to step up. He's got to have somebody who has the voice of reason for him to say, we've got to change it a little bit. We can't keep the same 5 guys at the top. They can be top guys, but they can't be in the same picture over and over and over and over and over again, because it just becomes stale. And he has to look at talent that he's recently let go. I mean, well, he's let them do their own thing. I don't know if he's let them go or not, but he's got to look at talent that he's recently just pushed away to the side. I mean, such as the Motor City Machine Guns, who we've seen on WWE, such as, Christopher Daniels, and he's got to give them the opportunity to shine just like he did Sting. He's got to give them the opportunity to shine just as he does Hangman Page, Luchasaurus, David Arquette. I don't hate to bring this up, but David Arquette has really changed and has really made a great name for himself, especially coming from the WCW years. You got to give him the opportunity to shine. I mean, you gave him a small opportunity, but you got to give him the opportunity to build that fan base back the way it needs to be built back, because he can wrestle. The kid can wrestle, dude. He's got it. So.
And Joseph, everything you just said, and is why the NWA, in my opinion, is the single best territory going today.
Guys, we were talking before we went live, and we were talking about some, believe it or not, we were talking about basketball, not even wrestling, but we were talking about basketball. But what if we were the owner of some NBA team, and Randy, you talk about enjoy watching Dominique Wilkins, and here he is 60-something years old, and you still had him on the team out there trying to play.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, that's what Tony Khan is kind of doing with some of his guys now. He idolized them growing up to a certain extent, and it's just like he's in his own little fantasy world and don't want to disappoint them or hurt their feelings, and so he's going to let them keep on doing what they're doing.
I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, what killed AEW in a lot of ways was the passing of Brody Lee. He was the one guy that was...
He was the glue.
He was the glue. Yeah, a good example. And I was excited. I am a New Japan guy. I still watch New Japan. I was getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and watching New Year's Revolution at New Japan, and I still occasionally will do that. I'm not as New Japan's really watered down right now, in my opinion, but um, it's sad to see the guys have all got opportunities at these bigger companies that aren't, you know, it's not the same. Finn Balor outside of the Bullet Club has never been the same. So not everybody can be in the WWE is my point. And you know, I wouldn't like Silas Mason as well in front of 10,000 people as I like Silas Mason in front of 1,500 people because he works. When you're in the room with Silas and he's working and you're in the back row, you feel like Silas is working towards you. The WWE guys, you don't get that. And that's just from being on the road, working these small halls. And I love the NWA guys because every time they're in a building, it be 500 people or 5,000 people, you see wrestling, you know?
Well, the NWA has done a lot of good things. There's a lot of great people in the National Wrestling Alliance. And one of the hottest commodities is Carson Bartholomew Drake. And Carson just knows, he just knows how to get under your skin and how to make the crowd love him or hate him. But he's going to get that reaction out of the crowd each and every time he's in front of them. And it doesn't matter where he's at. And Carson is just perfect at this. Silas is another example. He's perfect at just getting under your skin and saying just the right thing to make you go, ooh, you know, that stung a little bit. Like who he's talking to, he really means business with. And the NWA is great at developing those people, but those people have traveled for years on the road in, like you said, in bingo halls, in school gymnasiums, in National Guard armories. And I'm not taking anything away from the WWE kids, but a lot of the WWE kids got a tryout and they went directly to the Performance Center and they worked at the Performance Center only and then just at Full Sail University. And then they moved from Full Sail University from the Thunderdome to one of the main shows. They didn't have to travel around. They didn't have to do the circuit. And I think that that's really a lost art that's missing is, yeah, farm systems are good. And it's good to teach those people the psychology behind the scenes, but there's sometimes where they need that psychology in front of the crowd so they know exactly what to do when the crowd pops a certain way. And I don't think we get that as a lot from a lot of the newcomers from the WWE. They do a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of people, and I'm not taking anything away from the ID program. Jackson Drake is phenomenal, a phenomenal ID kid. Phenomenal. There. But there's a lot of things that he's traveling around. He's done a lot of stuff that's made him travel around and just to get to that point to where he can move in his career and move up. But there's a lot of kids that don't have that experience with them. And you can really tell, and you can tell when people have had to work, you know, a 10 crowder or a 5 crowder versus somebody who's working 1,500 because you can see that they want it and they're genuinely excited, whether it's 5 people or 500 people or 5,000 people or 50,000 people in the crowd. You can see that the excitement's still there and they still have the fire burning in them. And whereas a lot of these other people, they grew up in front of 20,000 fans, you know, they had to run security for it. And that's what they know. They know going through the farm system, running security, getting their opportunity to get in the ring and running with it. You mentioned something a minute ago, though, and I'm kind of going to touch on it. You mentioned Finn Balor. So we saw Finn win that Universal Championship when he first got to WWE, and they had no idea how to book him with it. They had no idea what to do with him with it. And ever since then, he's been a roller coaster by himself, whether he's the Demon, whether he's by himself, whether he's with what I like to call the Lucha Express now with Dirty Dom and the boys. But, you know, it doesn't really matter. They have no idea what to do with him. And he is a top talent that WWE is throwing away, throwing him at the buy side. And I don't want to say that he needs to leave because I know he's making good money there and I know he's having fun there. But you can see the fire has burned out of his eyes. He's not the same Finn Balor because I think he's just got to the point of it is what it is. Like, I'm just going to do it because it is what it is. And it's a steady paycheck. And you got to get to the point to where you're doing it because you love the business again. I know he loves the business, but his fire is gone. And I think it's gone because they won't book him the way that they should book him. Does he deserve a world title shot? Possibly. But I don't think you just throw him in it. I think you give him the opportunity to fight for it. And then when he proves that he can be that guy and he is that guy, you put him in one of the biggest matches he's ever had in his life and let him take it over. And you'll notice a difference in him if you'll do that for him. But I don't think they're willing to. Go ahead, Greg.
I agree with everything you said, but the one thing that you left out was he had to give up the title the next day after he won it because
That's right.
he was hurt, and I think that was the main thing was because he didn't have time to
Recover.
do anything with
Yeah.
that, and so when he was the hottest that he was by winning the Universal title, he cooled way down because he was out for a year and a half with whatever the injury was.
And see, I really find it very controversial on the fact that when we saw Triple H go down with his quad, he had to relinquish it. He had to give it up. When he came back, it was 3 months and he was in his title match. From somebody who's been injured and had that injury and had to be put on the shelf for a period of time, if anybody knows, that's the head of the company right now that can get you in that spot. It's Triple H. Does he not believe, or does he believe that Finn Balor would have been a better champion than him?
Go ahead, Randy. Go ahead, Randy.
I want to make a point, and this will be my last one. We're going to get off from here. You said a name, Carson Drake. If they are a modern day Roddy Piper, Mr. Drake is it. And he's that good. And you find those guys that is Carson Drake. Or, I think he's the best worker in the world right now in MJW. MJW.
MJF.
Maxwell,
Yeah.
Jacob Freedom. You find them, not every promotion has that guy. Or, and it used to seem like that guy got rewarded. That guy becomes the guy. And that's been a lot of our conversation is who's going to be that guy? Well, unfortunately, in today's wrestling, the personality and the ring ability has kind of took a back seat to the production. And, everything's about the production. It's about this. It's about that. Man, there's still that guy. And I miss the day when we had a Finn Balor at the top of the card. We had, Dick Murdoch could show up tomorrow and work a match, and you would be like enthralled if Dick wanted to work. If he didn't, he wouldn't show up.
So the last couple of years of WWE since we got on it have just kind of been a roller coaster. There's been some good things, but there's been a lot of bad things. They don't know what they're doing with a lot of people. And I hate to really use this analogy, but they're really kind of turning into the last days of WCW right now.
Very good.
I mean, they just have so much talent, but they don't know what to do with it. They've got so many people on the roster that they're just fighting for a spot for a 15-minute just look at me spot. And they're paying a lot of people a lot of money that are just really just ready to go out anyway. And besides that, I think the other side of it is the booking side. When we lost Vince McMahon, and I know that this is going to be crazy for me to say, but when we lost the creative genius of who Vince McMahon was in WWE and what he was capable of doing and what he was capable of spotlighting out of people, we lost a diamond in the rough because of everything that happened. I'm not saying bring Vince back, but you have to have a mind like his inside the business. You have to have somebody who is cutthroat and is a business first guy, and come hell or high water, he's going to get what he wants because he wants it. I don't think Triple H is that guy, and it shows inside the booking. It shows inside of how he's dealing with Bobby Roode. Let's talk about Bobby Roode. So Bobby Roode leaves TNA, comes over to WWE. He has a couple really good months. Then what happens to him? He's just out. You don't see him hardly ever. Here or there, might have one appearance here, might have one appearance there. I understand Bobby was getting ready to retire. He was getting ready to be done. He was getting ready to walk off into the sunset. But it's just how you handle it. Sting, another example. Now, Sting got hurt. I know Sting got hurt, but they could have handled the way that he got hurt and his return better. They could have made it to where it was something special to see Sting inside the ring again. AEW had no problem. TNA had no problem getting Sting back inside the ring. You know who did? WWE. Why? Don't know. But, you know, that's the problem that we've got. We don't have that creative genius, that creative marketing genius that can put people over, get people's opinions and views about them out of the way so that you have something that the product is going to be worth watching again. I'm not saying that it's complete garbage. Please don't take me wrong on that. The WWE is worth watching. But you've got a lot of filler that goes on now. You have a lot of stuff that 15, 20 years ago, it would have never even made a spot. It would have never been a segment. It would have never been an outside segment. It would have been a bar segment. Wouldn't have been any other segment whatsoever. Hey, guys, I just got a message from our guest. He's going to be on his way in just a second. So I do apologize about that. But I don't think it would have been anything, 15, 20 years ago to have a segment with those guys, because the creative direction would have been like, no, you need to be this person. This is who we want you to be, and you're going to be this person. And come hell or high water, you're going to get over as this person. Perfect example, Mick Foley. They gave him Mankind. Do you think he knew what to do with Mankind? He was Cactus Jack. Bang, bang, baby. He had no idea, but he had to get something inside of him. And he had to find it. He had to find that crazy person, but it got over. The Undertaker got over. Roddy Piper, even though he was already established, got over. You got to think that's how it was. Hulk Hogan may have been somebody somewhere else, but he really got over in the WWE when they let him run free with it. And so many, you can go on and on. I would say the Brooklyn Brawler, but the Brooklyn Brawler never got over. It didn't matter who he was in front of. But, everybody that they really put the money into, Farouk got over. If they threw the money at you, the Godfather got over. You're going to get over if you really run into that character and make it your own.
Yes.
Big issue is they've got the people there to do that, but I think the higher ups, TKO, are not going to allow them to do that. I think they want it to be more of a family oriented type business and not push certain people and push the other ones that they probably shouldn't, but they're going to, because that's who TKO wants to.
Well, they're promoting the MMA side of it a lot. If you've noticed the last couple of years, you have a lot of MMA fighters who have come over and they've tried to make their name in the wrestling business off of WWE because they're at the end of their career, or they've ended their career with an injury inside of MMA somehow, inside of UFC or the MMAs that they do in the Bellator and all that. And TKO is the big dog. I mean, they're the big dog on it. And so they've used a lot of these people. Shayna Baszler, that's a perfect example of a woman who came over that was doing it. She had an injury, came over and kind of excelled for a little bit with WWE. But what do they do with you after you're hot and it's over with? Where are they going to put you now? I mean, they can't keep you at the top forever, but that's what's going on in a lot of companies is you're hot. You start to get cold and then you move away. I'm so sorry. Ray Fury is here, guys. It's
Hey.
He's going to be delivering froggy elbows, baby. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Good.
Great, man.
Good, man. Glad to see you.
Yes, sir. Glad to see all you guys.
I think this is going to be the first interview we've ever done with a wrestler that's actually sitting on a ring.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is my home ring here. You see the F-bomb in the back. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, great.
Nice.
But for everybody, this is AWIF star Ray Fury. Welcome to Still Real champion as well.
Yeah, cruiserweight champion.
Cruiserweight champion. Ray, thanks for joining us, man. I know you're a busy individual, but we appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Hey, we're living large. Doc Gallows followed by Ray Fiera. I mean, again, we're getting to live out the Mark's dream here.
So you just had Doc Gallows on here?
Yeah.
Last week, yeah.
That's the hoot right there.
Yeah, man. He was fun. He was fun.
Man, I love that guy. He's one of one. You hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Just like you, Ray Fury, he's one of one. And we know that you've got a lot of bookings coming up, including February the 13th, 2026. You're going to be at Love and War. And it looks like you're going to be having your hands full against Jesse the Dragonheart. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. For those who don't know, Jesse the Dragonheart is one of my proteges. I've big brothered him. I try to take him under my wing, and I've tried to teach him mostly everything I know. Not everything, but he'll find that out this Friday when he steps in the ring with me for the first time ever.
Wow.
And that's going to be at Props Craft Brewery, 125 Lovejoy Road Northwest in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. You don't want to miss it. The front row seats are going to be $20. General admission is going to be $15, and kids admission is going to be $8. But they have to have a paid adult with them. That's very important. Go on out and support Ray Fury. Now, Ray, we want to know, because we've asked you. We saw you at Pro Wrestling Entertainment earlier in the year.
Yes, sir.
We didn't get a chance to talk very long. How did you break into the wrestling business, and who trained you?
Man, so I'll give you the cliff notes of how I broke in. I don't know how much time you guys got tonight, but so man, you know, I tried to get into business when I was living in New York. I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York. I only found 2 schools at the time. It was far away from me. Thought my dreams might have been crushed. I moved to Mississippi, seen a flyer for pro wrestling on the top of a Domino's pizza box.
Oh, wow.
I took that flyer and I put it on the dash of my car. I said, I'm not missing this day. I'm going to look at it every day and make sure I make it there.
Nice.
The day comes, I go to the show. I walk in there and I'm like, man, this is insane. This is my first independent wrestling show, you know? And so I got in touch with one of the wrestlers. He got in touch with the promoter. They took one look at me and said, man, we have no guys who are, you know, 6 foot tall, 10, you know, who look like you. So come on and train with us, you know, you know. So I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So from there, I started training. They taught me the basics. And then I met former Ring of Honor alumni, John Davis. He was part of the Dark City Fight Club. For those who don't know, he was Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion. And he took me under the wing and he taught me everything I know today. I owe that man everything. So big shout out to John Davis.
My question is, going from Bronx, New York to Mississippi, what was a big change in there?
Man, huge change. You have no idea the things I've seen and the things that I've heard. All right, coming from the Bronx, New York, all the way to Mississippi. And then now I'm in Destin, Florida here. So yeah, quite a journey.
Hey, Ray, when we were talking about having you on tonight, I usually kind of try to come up with a little storyline, play it out. But there was only one thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And that's your look, man, and your equipment and your mask and your ring gear. It's some of the best going. Is that something that early on you said, I want to look the part first? I really, and who makes your gear?
Man, when it comes to look, man, it's crazy. Like there's this guy that I met in Jacksonville. This is my first time, one of the first times me leaving Mississippi and getting an outside booking. I had maybe some generic gear on, you know. The guy looks over to me in the locker room and he said, hey man, when I see you, I see page 14 on, you know, elucha.com. You know, I was like, oh, damn, that kind of hurt, you know, in front of all the boys in the locker room. Next time he saw me, I don't know how long it was, maybe 6 months to a year. Next time he saw me, I had the best gear in the locker room.
Nice.
And, you know, and ever since then, I took pride in looking really good. And like John Davis told me, he said, if your gear doesn't look the part to walk on Raw or SmackDown tomorrow, then you don't look good enough. So I try to make sure if I was to get a call tomorrow to walk on SmackDown, I could fit right into the locker room. And that's the mentality that I try to hold. And that's what I teach my guys here as well.
Oh, I had to make a call to Joseph because I've seen you in so many different places.
Yeah.
I've seen you on NWA shows and you look the part of every part. You could walk into MLW tomorrow and look as good as anybody there. You spent a lot of time and effort to develop this look. Do you have an image of yourself and you want to build it, or is it just came naturally?
Man, you don't understand. Like, I appreciate the flowers, I appreciate the praise, but even now I'm coming up with some new gear concepts, and I've been I've been stressed out every day just trying to come up with something cool and something unique. And if I show you the concepts, you're like, oh man, that's awesome, send it over. And to me, it's not good enough. I'm like, no, I need something more over the top. But if so it's just like I'm in my own head trying to come up with something bigger and better. But yes, thank you for the praise. I'm just trying to be creative and be different in a world where there's a lot of looks and moves that have been done before. Just trying to be in my own lane.
I'm sorry, Randy, but if you get that call for Raw or SmackDown, do you have that one special outfit that you're like, I'm saving it just for this?
Yeah, actually I do. Yeah. But I try not to do that and just hold one set of gear just for those opportunities, because man, it's like a new pair of shoes. It's like they can't just sit in the closet. I gotta throw them on, So yeah, for sure. And there's times where I wore like my oldest gear and it still looked good with other guys in the locker room. So I'm a little harder on myself, but it is what it is. It's just the standard I try to hold myself to. But yes, thank you for the praise, man. I appreciate it.
I will pass it on to Joseph. The only thing I want to close out with is to give you some flowers. That you are one of the most professional looking, the move set, the look in the ring. If somebody has not seen you live, it is well worth their time to invest in it. And thank you for joining us. And again, I tell the guys, I said, I'm talking about the ring gear. Y'all can talk about whatever you want, but I'm talking about the gear. So
thank you, brother. Thank you. I try to keep it fresh. I try to come up with something new, but I got some new stuff up my sleeve in 2026. So we'll see how that goes.
It might be that I'm 340 pounds and I ain't look cool a day in my life, but I appreciate that.
He only looks at the buffet, guys. Don't let him lie to you.
Hey, yeah, I'm the hot stuff at the buffet. Right?
Well, Ray, we know on March 14th, you're going to be at Kingdom Pro Wrestling, and you're going to be facing the heavyweight championship match there, the original Gothic gangster, Trevin Anon. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep, Trevor Anon.
And the doors are going to be opening at 5 p.m. The bell time is going to be at 6 p.m. Tickets are on sale at evenbright.com. All you have to do is search for Kingdom Pro Wrestling, and you can get your tickets today. And not only that, but do you have any words for Trevor Anon?
Trevor Aon, I knew him for a really long time. He knows exactly what I bring to the table. I know exactly what he brings to the table. But the bottom line is I'm coming to Kingdom Pro Wrestling. I'm climbing the top of the mountain. I'm dropping an F-bomb that's going to change the landscape of the entire Kingdom Pro locker room.
And yes, you'll do it. You'll be able to do that right there, Saturday, March 14th. Jenkins County Rex Department. You don't want to miss it. Tickets are on sale today. Get your tickets for Kingdom Pro Wrestling. And then moving on, you're going to be at Luck of the Draw too, Sunday, March 15th at the Sanford Civic Center right there in beautiful Sanford, Florida. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct. That's Pro Wrestling Action. I am the Pro Wrestling Action All-Star Champion, and I've held it for the better part over a year now. And I carry this belt with pride. This is one of the best titles, best looking titles, and one of the most respected titles in the state of Florida. So I hold that crown very dear to my heart. I love Pro Wrestling Action.
Awesome, sir. And then we know that you're going to be at Bizarro World in Orlando, Florida, March 20th through the 22nd.
Man.
Right there in beautiful, sunny Orlando, Florida.
Yes, sir. This is the biggest con in this that goes down in the state of Florida. It's going to be in Orlando. MegaCon is a 3-day event. I'm going to be wrestling there all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Every year is a lot of fun. Last year we did a rumble, so to speak. I came in at number 1. Came up a little bit short at the end, but we even had Bluey ended up coming in the rumble. We had Donald Trump security. We had a T-Rex. Man, in Bizarro World, you never know what to expect. So,
And then, of course, you're going to be going to Las Vegas, Nevada, April 13th through the 19th for the convention for WrestleMania. And you're looking for a booking there, correct?
Actually, yes, I am. I will be wrestling there on the 15th. On the 15th of April, I will be with CCW, and I will be performing there at 5 p.m. And so, but I am looking for more bookings that whole WrestleMania week. So if anybody has any leads or would like to inquire about booking Ray Fury, don't hesitate to reach out.
And how can they book you, Ray? Where do they need to contact you at?
You can contact me on Facebook, Ray Fury, Instagram or Twitter, Ray Fury Official.
Excellent. Now, Ray, like I said, we got to see you at Pro Wrestling Entertainment. We got to see you earlier in the year. We've actually seen you twice at Pro Wrestling Entertainment. We got to see you last year at the Strawberry Festival that they host every year, the Strawberry Jam that happens out there. Yeah. And you have been on top of your game each and every time we've got to see you in person. And I want to express to everybody that's watching out there, if you have the option and the ability to get out there and see Ray Fury live and in person, go to any one of these events and see him. He's well worth the price of admission. Not only that, but he's always selling merchandise. He's always at the tables, and he's always talking to his fans.
Always.
He would love to see you there. Is that not correct?
Always. I always show love to everyone.
Nice.
Always.
Nothing worse than going to a show and going to an autograph table and the guy's not there.
No,
that's the worst.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that, man. Look, I'll take it personal, man. I never had the opportunity to go to wrestling shows as a kid. You know, I wasn't privileged enough to be able to afford to go to wrestling shows. So when I became an adult and I became an actual wrestler, I'm like, man, I'm making sure I shake all these kids' hands. I'm going to give them a good experience because I know they're going to remember this for life, you know, because it means that much to them. So I make sure I take it to the heart and you know, I show as much love as I can.
Well, Ray, that's really huge because I know a lot of you don't know, but I got to meet Andre the Giant when I was just little, and he had the biggest hand. He shook my hand, and it was the biggest hand that I've ever put my hand into, and it left a lasting impression on my life from that point in time forward. So for you to be out there each and every show, you never know that one child that you're going to reach that's out there, that it sets their whole life in motion to do something for the wrestling business. Yeah. And so I applaud you for being there and doing it. Yeah. I'm going to turn it over to Howie. Howie, you got anything?
Yeah, Ray, you know, Randy kind of touched on your outfits and everything, which they are phenomenal.
Thank you.
Your mask, when you get a new mask, do you actually put it on, go into the ring and try it to make sure you can see and do everything that you need to with it?
Yeah, normally when I get them there, I try them on in the house, you know, make sure they're all right. You know, they fit perfectly. But I got one mask maker who makes all my masks. So he got a pretty good mold of what size they need to be. So I trust them. But yeah, I do try them on, stretch them a little bit if they're a little too tight. But
I'm sure it really sucked. You get in the ring and realize, oh, I know I have no peripheral vision or something like that. What, you know?
Oh, look. And listen, I don't have peripheral vision anyway, so like I can't see my fingers. Okay, I can't.
Oh wow,
really?
I can't see my fingers. I can't see my fingers right there. You know.
Wow.
So if you see me do this, I'm looking. You know, so I'm looking. I can't see everything, but it is what it is. I'm used to it at this point. You know.
So is that something you've had your whole life?
Since I broke in, yes. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So you're kind of like the true meaning of tunnel vision. You are just strictly.
I tell people all the time, like this is all I see right here. You know, I see what's right in front of me. So yeah, it's you know, got a lot of guys. They come up to me and say, "Hey man, I've been thinking about wearing a mask." I tell them, like, "Look, man, I'm not trying to burst your bubble, but it's not what you think. Unless you got the holes cut out, you know, your eyes are actually exposed. Okay, cool, you know, but." It's not everything is cracked up to be. There's a whole psychology behind it. It's a whole different work style. There's a lot that comes with it. It's not just putting it on and going out there. So,
you think it's made you a better listener inside the ring, listening to the crowd, listening to what's going on inside the ring?
You know, this all I've ever known. You know, is having a mask on. So it's hard to really compare without having it and with having it on. But I would say, yeah, because I do. That is something that I really, take to heart, is really listening to what they're reacting to, and I learned that pretty early in my career from listening to a lot of Eddie Guerrero interviews. Uh, I used to hear him say, he should just go out there and react to exactly what they wanted. And he'll throw a punch, no reaction. He'll give a suplex, no reaction. Maybe he'll throw him to the outside, give him a chop, big pop. He's like, okay, we're gonna brawl tonight, and he'll go out there and he's gonna fight because he knows the wrestling is not, and the high flying moves are not gonna get a reaction. Maybe the fighting, and he did that every time that he went to. So I try to put that in my bag, and it works. So.
Who's some of the wrestlers you looked up to as you was growing up?
Man, easily the Ultimate Warrior. He's the one who really captivated me and made me love wrestling. I saw him and immediately he jumped off the screen. He looked like a real life cartoon character. I loved it. Definitely Ultimate Warrior. And then it was Razor Ramon. I loved how cool he was, and HBK, 90s Shawn Michaels, because he wasn't big at all. He wasn't the biggest guy. He didn't have the biggest biceps. He didn't have, he wasn't 6'7", but he was out there battling Vader, Kevin Nash, and putting on these amazing matches. So, for obvious reasons, Shawn Michaels, for sure. And then when I got a little older, RVD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I see that one.
Do you see, I know I'm assuming you watch a lot of wrestling, but do you see somebody do something and you're like, hey, that's something I could possibly do, and then you try to put it in your repertoire?
Man, you wouldn't believe it, but I Ember Moon, Athena.
Yeah.
Every time I saw her in the ring, it sounds crazy because she's a female, but I would watch her and I'm like, man, that's Ray Fury. I'm like, that's me. That's me. I watch her move. I see her arsenal, the way she gives maneuvers. I'm like, bro, that is me. That is all me. And I feel like we're very much alike. So, I don't try to steal from anyone, but if I do see something super cool, I'm like, that fits in what I do. That's something maybe I could take that and tweak it a little bit, but still turn it into my stuff. Maybe stack it and maybe do a move with another one instead of, actually taking from someone, because I really do think that originality is key in this business. I think a lot of guys, they're too focused on what's going on around them and seeing what everyone else is doing instead of focusing on their craft and what they need to work on. It's good to be aware of what's going on around you, but to be watching and seeing and watching everyone's plate, I don't think is the way we need to be approaching the wrestling business as professional wrestlers. And I think there's a lot of that going on. So I try not to have that kind of mentality, if that makes any sense,
Man, I want to applaud that. Thank you very much for saying that. That's well said.
Well, because you listen to promos, they all sound the same. You watch matches. Sometimes these matches look the same. The guys are doing the same things. And it's just like, man, it's just because you're watching everyone's stuff and then you're implementing it and you're doing the same thing. It's just, it sucks. It sucks.
Well, Ray, I'm not going to crap on professional wrestling because I was always taught to leave the business better than when you found it. But when we found it, somebody's finisher was a finisher. It was it. It didn't matter if it was a DDT, a pile driver, a Canadian destroyer. It was over with. And I think that we have gotten to a place in professional wrestling now to where a finisher is not a finisher anymore. It's like you got to have 6 finishers in order to make it. And I want to hear your opinion on it, because I know we've got to evolve and we've got to move the wrestling business into a place where the fans can enjoy it. But do we need to go back, or do you think that we're moving in the right direction?
I understand it. The business is evolving. It's the same way as basketball. A windmill dunk in a game is going to get a reaction on a fast break. But, maybe back in the day, everyone would have flipped their seats, back in the 90s. So, so the level of tolerance is different and it's changing, So I understand why guys are doing all these finishers and they're just like regular moves now. I get it. But at the same time, if you want to take a move seriously, I think it can be built towards that. I think the DDT, the Jake the Snake DDT, can be a finisher today's day.
Oh, absolutely.
I absolutely can. Look at Gunther. He's putting people to sleep, and you believe it, don't you?
Everybody does.
When he puts that sleeper on you, oh man, this might be it. You know what I mean? And that same psychology could be used for any maneuver, no matter what it is. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I understand the way the business is moving. I see guys doing styles clashes now, and I personally don't think anybody should be kicking out of it, but guys are kicking out of it, you know. But I think the bars is being raised higher, 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 and higher. But at the same time, moves can be solidified and made to mean something if you wanted them to. So, yeah.
And you have probably one of the best moves in all of professional wrestling with that F-bomb, that beautiful froggy elbow that you love to drop. And I've got to say, for as many times as I've seen it, it never gets old. Because you just fly. You get lost in the lights of the arena every time we see you. And it seems like you just go higher and higher and higher. How do you stay on top of your game to keep flying like that?
Man, look, my hips are gonna hate me one day. You hear me? I might be in a wheelchair one day, and it's gonna be like I've been dropping them F-bombs all my life, you know. But man, I love that move. I think it's the best elbow in the business, man. If not, it's up there with them. I love the maneuver. I hope it doesn't get on TV before I can get it on there, because then I'm gonna look like I'm ripping it off from somebody. But yeah, the froggy elbow, man, I love it. Yeah, again, I just hope I can get it on to a national televised program before someone else does. So
I believe you'll be able to.
Yeah, I don't think many people are going to be athletic enough to pull that move off completely.
there's a lot of good athletes out there, but
They are.
I'm just hoping it's me first, you know. So
With all the abilities and everything you got, jumping and athletic ability and all that, what I'm curious about your vertical. Have you ever measured your vertical leap?
I have not. The way I used to measure it growing up was if I can dunk. So we play a lot of basketball in the Bronx, New York. All right, basketball is life. If you know anybody in New York, that's all we did. And so, that was always our goal. Like, let's see if we can touch rim. Let's see if we can hang on the rim. All right, now throw me an alley-oop. Let me see if I can dunk it. So as far as I just got up to jumping and hanging on the rim. But that's as far as I measured it. That's our measurement growing up of how high we can jump. So,
It's still good though. Being able to do that, it's still good.
yes, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I got one more question. Turn it over to one of these other guys. If you had a dream match, past, present, yeah, I'm stealing it from you, Joseph. Past, present, whoever, they don't have to be alive at the moment, but your dream match, who would it be?
Oh man, I have the first person who came to mind. I'm such a huge fan, so he definitely would outshine me. But I'm a huge Ricochet fan. Huge Ricochet fan. Back when he was in Lucha Underground as Prince Puma, I actually like Prince Puma more.
I love Prince Puma. Yeah,
I love Prince Puma. I just love everything about him. He's smooth, man. I love the way he just moves in the ring. I'm a huge Ricochet Prince Puma fan. I would definitely love to wrestle that guy.
If y'all wrestled, they'd have to call the FAA in to, have a air traffic controller in there to keep it everything, under control.
And also honorable mention. I would love to have a street fight with Jey Uso.
nice.
Little inside joke for those out there who are keeping track.
I think it can happen though. I think you're really on track to have both matches in your career. So I don't see that being way far fetched, especially knowing that Jay watches this show.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he watches this show. So I'm pretty sure that you might make that list with him just for mentioning him.
Look at that. Hey, Jay, if you're watching, can I get 2 claps and a yeet yeet? Man, that felt good.
All right, Randall, I'm going to turn it over to you, buddy.
Hey, I'm going to be quick. I've got a couple of background questions that we can. Growing up in the Bronx, you're in WWE territory growing up.
Yeah.
Did you get to see any wrestling other than that? Were you exposed to like the Ring of Honors and the ECWs at any point?
You know, it's funny. I just watched WWF, WWE, watched some Nitro, and then I discovered ECW. But I guess I didn't have the channel to try to find it. I think it came on at 1 a.m. and I wasn't staying up that late, and so I didn't get a chance to watch it. But as soon as DVDs started dropping, I started buying them because this was like I was just blown away. I'm like, bro, they're having hardcore matches. They got you know, barbed wire. They got chairs. They got this. They got this. And it just, and I was a huge fan of ECW, but that's really all I got to watch, man, honestly. And then I got into Ring of Honor, and I discovered the Roderick Strongs and whatnot.
That's cool. That's cool, though. I love the journey. Everybody kind of has, like for me, it was Dusty Rhodes. I'm a little bit older. You know, I dreamed that I thought Dusty Rhodes was Iron Man and Superman all rolled into one when I was 8 years old, you know. So your path tells a lot about, you know, this it's a great sport, and you know, I'm a fan. That's what I am. And anytime I sit down, I think about those guys. Um, we talked about dream opponents. Have you ever thought of making a tag team, a dream tag team for yourself?
That's a good question. I started out in the tag team. I throughout the last few years, I did tag with one of my nemesis, Lucha Lacora. He's a mass wrestler as well. We did tag, and we was a hell of a tag team. Let me tell you, we had some awesome matches with the Rapture out in Orlando, Florida. But besides that, I haven't really thought about getting into another tag team. You know, I really haven't met anyone that we can, like, I really felt like we can just mesh perfectly and, you know, be successful as a team, you know, especially in a business that's really driven on individual success. You know, I've always had my goals to, you know, reach that next level. So I haven't really thought about that too much.
All right. The last question, Joseph, and I'll come back to you. I'm in Tennessee. Joseph's in Tennessee. Howie's in Alabama. We're blessed in this region to have a great independent scene. We've been able to break in and have a few guests from the Florida region up. And what is Florida independent wrestling like now? And how many places are they for a young man that's looking for a place to work to go to Florida? Is it a great place to work? A lot of shows, or
Man,
few and far between?
man, let me tell you, man. I think this is where, you know, I know people talk about the Northeast, Texas being a hotbed, but I think Central Florida right now, Kissimmee, Orlando, Tampa is where you want to be, because there's so many schools there. You have NXT, you got the TNA tapings there as well. You have CCW, which is the new territories, if you ask me. You know, they're going all over the United States right now. And you know, they're blowing up and they're hot, and they just got that TV deal, so they're doing tapings now. So if you're part of that roster, you know, good things on the horizon for CCW. But it's so many talented wrestlers there in Central Florida. Like, there's guys who are opening the show that can kill it in main event and other parts of it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And then there's so many schools there, so guys are actually learning how to wrestle. You know, they're not buying gear and just learning as they go. These guys are getting professionally trained, and they're coming in the business, and they're coming in hot. And I feel like every year more and more new talents coming up, and I'm meeting new people. So it forces you to stay on your toes as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, Central Florida right now is super, super hot.
It's crazy how these beds just come together. Like, you know, a few years ago around Dallas come together back in the, you know, the era, and then Atlanta came together. And,
yeah.
And, you know,
because maybe like 1 or 2 years ago, maybe I think Texas was the place to be.
Yeah.
Smoking hot. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I love to hear that, though, because me as a wrestling fan, that means there's more guys out there I've never saw yet that I'm going to see someday. So
Man, there's shows that I'll go to in Central Florida, man, and like Rhea Ripley will be backstage. You know, we don't know she's coming. You know, she'll be there, or Nia Jax, or then the last show I was on, Jacob Fatu showed up, and he just sat in Gorilla and watched every match on the monitor, and then he gave feedback to the guys. You know, we had a EO Sky come at one of the WrestleCons I was on in Central Florida. You know, stuff. Javon Evans is going to shows. You know, I think they do it secretly, but they just want to come and just really be around professional wrestling and just see what's going on out there and be in the mix and you know, just see what's out there independent level as well. You know, I think they just do it out of passion and out of love. You know, so and I'm not trying to knock any other states, but I don't see them doing that in like a Idaho or, you know, Oklahoma. You know, no offense to those states, but you know what I mean. They know that this is the hotbed. These are where some good shows are. They could just pop up and they can see some pretty good matches on a card. So, yeah.
And the more people getting to work, the more people's getting a paycheck, and that's always good for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you for the time. Thank you for the effort. Thank you for your giving us a little look at some titles and the mask and the whole thing. Now, as you can see, you probably we're happy to have somebody not look old and gray and in the way. So we're grateful. Joseph, please take him home with you.
Hey, you guys you guys are in Tennessee, correct?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
I'll be in for CCW. I'll be there at the end of the month in Nashville as well. I don't know how far you guys from there, but I'll be there in case you guys ever if you guys want to show up and hang out and whatnot.
That would be awesome. I'm about 2 hours from Nashville.
Okay, gotcha.
We're not that far. I'm in the beautiful Chattanooga, Tennessee right now. And
Okay.
you know, we've got a pretty good little network going up here with Knoxville and some of the things happening. You know, a few years ago, our independent scene was dead, and you couldn't find a decent show. And now it is really thriving. You know, I hate to say this, in the last 5 years, I've probably got to see the current NWA World Champion 20 times, and that's a great way to be. You know,
Wow.
and to have somebody that you were a fan of when he was coming up now carry the 10 pound of gold or appear in. By the way, I'm going to say it. The Claw is still a good finisher. You know, the Von Erich Claw still could work. But Silas was in the movie, the Von Erich's movie. That was great to see him.
I love Silas, man.
And thank you for your time, and thank you for representing the world of pro wrestling the way it should be represented.
Thank you. I try to
Gracias.
be as professional as I can and leave the business better than what I found it, like as you said earlier.
Thank you very much. And you never know. We like to road trip. We might be in Nashville, and you're not just look around and you say, look at those 3 fat guys over there in row 2.
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there. I'll be there next weekend. So I didn't know how close you guys were, but yeah.
Well, Ray, I've got one last question for you. We work closely with the Fight for Autism and Wrestling for a Cause Chattanooga, who works really closely with those who have mental disabilities, physical disabilities, and they're always interested in giving back. Is there a promotion that you work with that's similar to those two? And if not, would you like to come and work for one of those one day and we'll get you hooked up?
You know, I don't think I work for anything close to that way. I do work with some promotions that do fundraisers for different organizations. But yeah, I would love to maybe come up there one day and do something with them. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
I got kidnapped the last time, so it's not that great. I mean, they kidnapped an old man, right?
They didn't take him to the buffet either. He lost some weight.
Hey,
They put me in a wheelchair.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, hey, if you kidnap me, at least feed me. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, all the shows they bring me gummy worms. All right. The fans know what I like. Bring me some gummy worms if you're gonna kidnap me. All right.
Dude, listen to this. Now he can kidnap me.
All right, Allie, go ahead and take us home, baby.
Hey, Ray, thanks for your time. And speaking of food, my last 2 questions, one of them's going to be food related.
Here it comes.
You Waffle House order. What do you eat at the Waffle House?
Oh, baby. Oh, man, you talking my language. So I get the All-Star special.
Oh, yes.
I get 6 scrambled eggs.
Oh, whoa, whoa, what?
I get 6 rest. Hash browns, well done, because I like them crispy.
There you go.
With cheese on top. Okay, I'll get the patty, the sausage patty, and I tell them to hold the pancake, the waffle, till I'm done. All right, I don't like it sitting there just cold. I say, hey, just hold the waffle, and I'll let you know when to throw it in there. And yeah, that's my order right there. All-star special, 6 eggs, hash brown well done with cheese on top, sausage, waffle flash.
We ask every guest that question, how he does. That's his thing. If we ever get a pro wrestler that doesn't eat at the Waffle House, we're shocked.
Hey,
But
listen, you either love it or you don't. It's I feel like there's no in between. Either you love Waffle House or you hate it.
Right.
I
If
love
you-
Waffle House.
if you know what the all-star is just by saying it, then you're a good man.
That's it. Yeah, because you guys popped as soon as I said it, so you guys know.
That's my order, man. Except I throw the Burt's chili on top of that well done hash browns.
Yeah, we had a gentleman on here that came out to train at the School of Morton, I think it was, but he's from California, which I guess California don't have Waffle House. And he got introduced to the Waffle House, and he said that's the main thing that he misses right now is being able to go to a Waffle House.
Man, that's where it's at, man. All hours of the night. Listen, I ate so many Waffle House meals alone. I just sit my phone up on the salt shaker, and I watch me some wrestling while I'm eating my all-star special.
I think I'm gonna go eat the Waffle House in a minute.
Hey, I've done it so many times. I have no problem with it, man. So
You're talking our language. There's no telling how many times that me and Randy have gone to wrestling and end up at a Waffle House.
bro,
Not even intended to. You just end up there. You just start.
it's clutch, baby. It's clutch.
And my last question for you, Ray, and we'll let you go. We appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
Superstitions or rituals that you do before you have to take the ring?
Any rituals? I'm usually pacing a lot. I definitely got a bottle of water in my hand. And I definitely got some type of gummy candy in my trunks hanging right there. And I'm eating some gummy worms. I'm chewing on a little bit right before I hit that curtain. So that's really my routine all the time with some power bands just to pump up a little bit. So water, power bands, some gummy worms. I'm ready to go. Fired up.
You're all about the gummy worms. I need to try one of those.
Man, it's a white bag called Albanese, I think. Albanese.
Oh wow, man!
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, you're in shape, but you know some food.
Hey, man. Hey, them gummy worms right there, and you only need a few, and they'll fill you up. They're thick, They good, man. They good.
My daughter plays girls football, flag football,
Yeah.
and that's what they eat on the sideline, just for quick energy burst.
Yes. Hey, not to be inappropriate. I had one of the guys in the locker room. He called me a reverse pedophile. Okay, he called me a reverse pedophile. I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, instead of you bringing little kids candy, there you got the kids bringing you candy." So by the end of the night, you look at my luggage. I got like 4 or 5 bags of gummy worms, man. So it is.
Yeah.
They just looking out, man. They love me. So
have they ever thrown any into the ring for you?
They what?
Have they ever threw any bags in the ring for you?
No. That
now they're going to what?
I pictured that, like, you remember Ring of Honor when they throw the streamers?
Yeah, gummy worms.
I would just throw gummy worms.
Hey, I was lucky enough to work security for WCW back in the day in the 80s and 90s.
Nice.
Bobby Eaton had his bag full of candy every time you ran into him. So you being compared to Bobby Eaton is a good thing, man. That's a great guy.
Yeah, and then before I know it, I see guys, they'll come with a jumbo bag of Skittles. I see another guy with licorice. I'm like, look, guys, slow down, all right? It's my gimmick now, all right?
Guys, y'all have anything else before we let Ray go? Ray,
I'm gonna have people throw steak at me. I'm ready. We took way too much of this man's time.
Joseph, anything before we go?
No, sir. Thank you for coming on tonight. It's been a real blessing to have you.
Thank you very much.
And we would love to have you come on in the future and also come on Wrestle Talk with Rab Beaver if you're available. Just let us know when.
Listen, man, I could come back whenever you guys want me. I know we're both busy, but I'd love to come in here and just shoot it with you guys, man. This is fun.
And don't be surprised if you get a call from Wrestling for the Cause, because I'm going to start bugging them tomorrow to book you.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
I'm surprised they hadn't already commented wanting you to come on, because
Yeah.
they're watching all the time. So, but let's get one more plug in for Doc Gallo's hair products. Doc Gallo's luxury skin and beard care.
I love Doc, but he ain't got no hair. Let's say that right. Beard products. I mean, I ain't got no hair. He had a skullet at 24.
Hey, Sex Ferguson got some hair.
Yeah, Sex Ferguson got some hair.
You're getting advertising. Come on, Randy.
Doc Gallo's luxury skin and beard care. They're working on products for women as well. They do have some out already, but they're working on other stuff. That's why I said the hair products, because of the beard. Not necessarily the hair on the top of the head, but the hair on the bottom of the head.
Look, Doc's working on my beard for me. I'm going to get up there where I can put some rubber bands in mine too.
And also you can go to
ShopBryantHill.com is where you want to go to, and you can catch all of your luxury products, including coming soon, the new DDP line. Keep your eyes peeled for that, because that's going to be out pretty soon for you guys. But you can get all your men's, women's, and all your luxury skin and hair care products at ShopBryantHill.com. You definitely want to give them a shout out today. And this tobacco, the Farmhouse tobacco, is one of my favorites, even though I don't have a huge beard, one of my favorites to use. And they're making some special deals right now. As you see right there on the bottom of the screen, you can get 20% off your order right now. So that knocks the additional tax off of your price today if you order from ShopBryantHill.com today.
Right. Ray was messing with his beard there while you was doing that little promo there. So he may be interested in getting some of this.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc got a good beard.
I just came from he does got a deep beard, yeah.
Absolutely. So for QB1, Joseph, Lee Howard Cheney, our special guest tonight, AWIF star Ray Fury, cruiserweight champion, going to be in our area next weekend. That will be,
come on out. I believe it's at the Troubadour, isn't it?
I believe so. Don't quote me on that, but yeah.
Is it
I
going to be
will
on
update you guys in the comments.
Is it going to be on the 20th or 21st? Is it a Friday or Saturday?
It's 21st.
21st on Saturday. Going to be in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Randy, I might make the trip to Chattanooga and you take us the rest of the way.
Look, my car goes to Nashville all the time. You never know when I'm going to be gone. And there's a lot of Waffle Houses between us and Nashville too.
I knew that was coming.
340 pounds, man. They love when I walk in.
Absolutely. But Ray, thank you for your time. It's an honor to meet you and a pleasure talking to you. And we're looking forward to having you back here very soon.
Thank you, guys. It was an honor. Appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight. Good night and God bless.